So today we're going to make a box or a case in Shapr3D. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and start up Shapr3D. Click your home part here and just make sure you're in the project mode and click plus. So we should end up with a new project. You can give it a quick name. I'm just going to call this case without the abbreviation in front. Return, looks good. And to start out, make sure you're in millimeter mode, if you would, please. Everything else is fine. We won't need to necessarily live the grid. But go ahead and click on the top face of the cube up in the top corner, and you can go ahead and slide down just a little bit. We're going to start out with just drawing a rectangle, which will be the base of our case. So going to sketch mode, rectangle, make sure you're in diagonal mode. And I'm going to start out here in the origin and move over. And I'm going to make my case 100 millimeters or 10 centimeters, zooming out a little bit, by 80 millimeters, which is be 88 centimeters. Not a huge case. You can make it much larger, but just to get it started. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit again just to make it a little bit easier. Under more, I'm going to choose offset. And we're going to offset this piece here by 2 millimeters. You can either type it in or drag it. And then once you have that, we're going to offset the outside one by an additional 2. Oops. And do that. Don't want to do that. Going into more, offset edges. This one here, 2 more millimeters. And you might say, wait, why do we have 3 of them? Well, in this case, what we were going to do here is we need not only our lid walls, but we want a little ridge around the top for our lid of our case to fit on nicely. All right, I'm going to double tap on the cube up in the top right corner just to get us back into 3D mode. And what I want to do next is extrude this downward so we actually have a base. You might have to zoom in just a little bit to make sure you can select all of it. But in this case, I want to select this piece, and this piece, and I want to extrude downward a total of 4 millimeters. You can also type it in if you want, but -4, and say OK. And now once we have that, we're ready to extrude the rest of this. At this point, I want you to select this piece here, and we want to extrude this up. If I can get it, there we go. I don't want to copy. I just want to extrude it upward a little bit. And backwards a little bit. There we go. Extrude. There we go. And I want to extrude this up a total of 50 millimeters or 5 centimeters. Maybe zoom out just a little bit here. And then this outside edge, if I can grab it, no, hold on. Sometimes you have to zoom in. I want to extrude this outside edge up almost to the height here. I'm just going to go a total of, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to go 50 millimeters for this. That's fine. And then I'm going to go back here and extrude this down to 52. Not sure why that sometimes does that, but there. Now we've got these pieces here. This will be our rim for the eventual lid. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. And before I do anything else, double click on the case. So you select the whole thing. And now under the little copy icon you see down here below, if you would click on the little plus sign, it should turn blue. At that point, grab one of the arrows here and just slide a copy of our case over here to the side. And you might say, wait, why do I have 2 copies now? Well, this other piece is eventually going to become our lid. So I'm just going to move things over just a little bit and zoom in a little bit here so it's easier to work with. And now we're just going to de-extrude these a bit. I'm going to move this down so that its thickness is only 8 millimeters. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this inner part. Not copy it. Sorry. I'm going to extrude it down, but even further until this is only 6. Notice it's 2 millimeters deeper. That's going to fit inside of my other piece. And now I'm pretty much happy with my case. Just a few details. I'm never happy with perfectly square cases. Let's give this thing a little bit of style. So if you would please, go ahead and highlight each of the edges on this. Why we're going to fillet them just a little bit so this is not quite so boring. In this case, pulling out a total of 5 millimeters. Hold on. Lost it. Shoot, sometimes this happens. Coming around, grabbing that edge. And finally this edge. Whoa, zooming out a bit. And making sure I've got this edge. And finally, sorry, moving things around, shrinking out a little bit. And that edge, do I have them all? I think so. And then pulling that out, a total of 5. And now if we look at our cube, it should have nice, or our bottom case, it should have nicely rounded corners. I'm going to go back here into 3D mode so you can sort of see it better. Which means we also need to do that with our lid. So I'm going to click on each of the edges here that we want to fill it. I guess I'm going to have to come in a little bit tighter. This edge, this edge, this edge. And this is going to be a little tight in here, I'll admit. This edge, and then come around the other side here. This edge here. And again, fillet those again, 5, so that it matches the rest of our case. Last step, wouldn't it be kind of nice if this inside edge here, these edges here, towards where the lid fits would also be slightly rounded. So coming in here and looking at it from the edge here, I'm just going to work on these. So this piece, whoops, not that piece, that piece, moving this over a little bit, this edge, and this edge. I'm going to pull those out, just 2. All right, just 2. I don't want to pull them out too far because it actually would round it too much. That looks actually fairly nice, moving that around. That we've got a nice rounded edge here for our lid as well, which looks perfect. Of course, though, we're going to need to do something with our case itself here. It would technically fit at this point, but our corners here now are kind of thin. We might want to just move those in a little bit. So if I can grab this edge here, not that edge. Hold on just a second. Coming in from the edge here. This piece here. And I'm going to zoom out or zoom in a little bit here so you can sort of see what happens. We can actually move it in so it kind of matches. I'm going to move it in too. And now that's going to fit our curvature there. And yes, I could have done all of them at once, but I wanted to show you what this looks like. And the fact that this is so hard to do right now, I'm actually getting every line except what I want at the moment. It is a little tricky. No, I don't want that line. I want that line. There we go. And 2 inward. Swimming around, or switching around. Zooming out, coming around. I'll get these last 2 edges. This one here, into, and then finally coming around and getting this edge. And we're going to move that in again too. And we've got it. Finally, with any of the cases here, we've got a nice, beautiful case. You may need to actually extrude and put some holes in for wires or displays or switches. Don't be afraid to do that as well. Hopefully this will get you started. Your goal for today is to make a case, either this side or not, but please make it your own. Add some customizations to it. You can extrude shapes through it, or even your name through it, something that makes it somewhat distinctive. Good luck.